Ladies and gentlemen, Gary R. Smith.
One commend Gary R. Smith for his commitment to excellence and his invaluable contribution to the world of sports journalism. This is in recognition of his remarkable contributions, unwavering dedication, insightful reporting, and exceptional storytelling skills. You have displayed an unmatched passion for delivering accurate, well-researched, and compelling narratives to both traditional and modern audiences and inspiring future generations of sports journalists. Your relentless pursuit of truth, backed by thorough research and balanced analysis, has earned you so much respect and admiration from both colleagues and sports enthusiasts. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition.
Happy New Year.
Happy Shapa. Right. Thank you, everybody. Good evening. And I suppose this is the first time I'm seeing all of you officially, so Happy New Year. I'd like to thank God for life, for strength. 13 months ago, I had a serious issue in Qatar where you might have been marking 1 year of my death by now. You know, as I collapsed at the World Cup and I was in the ICU for 12 days. But God is good. He's been faithful, and here we are. So thank you to God, first of all.
There it is, the man of the moment, capturing the biggest prize on the oldest award scheme here in Ghana, and that is the Sports Writers Association of Ghana Awards Night. Gary will be joining us later on the show as he brings us some of the stories we'll need to hear ahead of the start of the Africa Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023, being played in the year 2024. Well, welcome to the show, and this afternoon we're starting off with the action, taking you straight to Abidjan, where we'll speak to John Boafo, who is a sports analyst and sports researcher, throwing a lot of focus on football, and he has a lot to tell us regarding how things are going there on the ground. John, thank you very much for joining us on the Joy Sports Link.
Thanks for having me on your show. Appreciate it.
Great stuff. Look, today is the day. I'm sure that this has been a bit of a long wait, but definitely those of you on the ground will have a different feel of how things are going with the way people are building up to the opening ceremony and the first game.
So over the last week, I've been able to see that people are getting more and more excited. My brother happened to come to Ivory Coast last week, and he was mentioning that he didn't see that much vim and that much vigor about people come about the AFCON. But over the last 2 days or so, we were able to see that more and more people are wearing all the time all these various jerseys. This morning, I went out on my morning walk and I saw almost about maybe 50 to 100 people wearing their Côte d'Ivoire jerseys. So everyone is really, really excited about this to kick off the AFCON, and they're really excited about hosting the AFCON. I'm not sure that everyone expects us to win, but they expect us, I say us, but Côte d'Ivoire to do well and have a deep run in the tournament, and hopefully make the country proud.
Don't worry, John. You can say us, because at this time, I'm sure that if it goes back to Côte d'Ivoire, everybody will be excited, including your good self. Now,
for sure.
Tell me about the fans, the home fans. You talked about how the closeness to the time or proximity to the kickoff or the big day has just increased the enthusiasm. How much confidence are they reposing in the Elephants, who have already won 2 titles in history?
So it's a very difficult one to host and win the AFCON, especially in West Africa. I believe that since 1982, there's only been a handful of teams that have been able to host and win it. So the expectation is to perform well And then hopefully if you get to a semi-final or final, you never know what's going to happen. A lot of my Ivorian friends have been making fun of me and saying that the 2 times that Les Elephants won it was on penalties versus Ghana. So they're crossing the fingers that Ghana will do well so that we meet them in the finals, and then it's anyone's game. But I believe that the organization has done really, really well. The stadiums are either new or refurbished. They've stress tested all the stadiums, the access to the stadiums in terms of the security, in terms of the ticketing. So everything is really ready to go for tonight's kickoff of the biggest celebration of football in Africa.
All right, John, you mentioned ticketing, which is a crucial element when it comes to tournaments as big as this one. The whole world's attention is on Côte d'Ivoire. Now, a friend of mine yesterday called me up and said, look, the portal is a little jammed. I mean, the official portal on CAF's website is jammed. And so have arrangements been made for people to purchase at the match venues ahead of the games, for instance, by the local organizing committee?
Yes, so the local organizing committee known as COCAN have allowed for people to be able to buy the tickets in person. The issue was that at the beginning, everything was online.
7 FM, and we're streaming as well on the Facebook page of Joy 997 FM. Here with me on the show to start off the conversations ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire is John. Now, John is an analyst, and he is bringing us up to speed on arrangements that have been made to make things very, very convenient for all the fans who will be visiting the various venues. And he is stationed in Abidjan. Jean Boafo. Jean, let's talk about the opening ceremony and the opening game and arrangements for fans to get in ahead of time and all of that.
So my recommendation is to really start getting there as early as possible. From my sources within CAF, they tell me that the hospitality opens at 5 p.m. And so my recommendation is try to get in as early as possible, as early as even as 3:30 or 4 p.m. That way you avoid some of the traffic, but they've also been able to stress test, like I said earlier, the infrastructure in and around it and the security. I also know that they've arranged for buses so people don't have to drive all the way to the stadium. There are certain points that you can park and then take buses to go straight into the stadium. This will help also people who maybe don't have their own cars. Maybe they can take taxis to these spots where they can take the buses, and it's all over the various parts of Abidjan, the commune, as they call them over here. So my advice is to look and see where these spots are, which are close to you, and if you want to decide to take a bus, to do that rather than take a taxi all the way there. If you have your own personal vehicle, that's also a good idea to drive there or to go and park and then take the buses. But they've basically catered for people who have cars and those who don't as well.
Let's talk about what will happen after the football. I mean, I know it's always first things first, but let's talk about what will happen after the football. So let's draw a scenario, where you have a Côte d'Ivoire, the Elephants of Côte d'Ivoire, having a comfortable result, a win, over Guinea-Bissau. What will happen after that game in terms of the reveling and what the fans can do away from the football pitch?
Côte d'Ivoire is known as the country of hospitality. So a lot of people from the sub-region live in Côte d'Ivoire, but it's also known as a very fun city. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens in the evening. People like to enjoy life, like one would say. So if Côte d'Ivoire beats Guinea-Bissau today, which most locals will think that they would, Abidjan will be on fire in a good sense. People will be out, people will be celebrating. especially in the viewing parties that they're organizing all over the city. So for those who don't have tickets and that are already in Abidjan, if you look on the CAF's website, you'll also be able to find the locations of these viewing parties, where they've set up tents and they've set up hundreds of seats for people to be able to watch live on a screen. So those places are going to be lively. And for anyone who's around, give me a shout. Maybe we'll go out and party if we win.
Great stuff. I like that element. Continue to stay with us, John. I'm going to bring in a few others who are also joining us from various places. Here in the studio is Stone, who is a TikToker from Nigeria. I call him a celebrity TikToker because, you know, he's... he's been signing some autographs and all of that as well. Stone, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio as well.
Thank you very much. The studio looks good.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Now, John has painted a very good picture. Mm-hmm. Now, let's get down to the game itself. Guinea-Bissau, the last time, Guinea-Bissau took part in an opening game, it was something else. They were able to hold the hosts to a 1-1 draw. How does that feed into what will be happening? I know 2017 and now are vast, in terms of time. But how does that feed into what we'll be seeing this evening between the Elephants and Guinea-Bissau?
The challenge here is going to be for Cote d'Ivoire to open up with a bang. You want to go out there and represent yourself in the best way possible. You have the home advantage, you have the home fans, you have everyone backing you up, basically. And you need to go out there and show the fans that first of all, the coach did not make a mistake by not bringing Wilfred Zaha into the camp. That's the first thing. So you have to go out there and, all the forward players have a massive responsibility on their hands this evening. They have to deliver. There has to be an assist. There has to be a key pass. There has to be a goal. What you want to do there is that in the first 10-20 minutes, you want to attack, put pressure on Guinea-Bissau and get one goal. That's what you want to do at the end of the day, just to prove, number one, because they're part of people that feel like Zaha should have been there. There are other people that are saying, oh, this Cote d'Ivoire team, I'm not sure that they can get to the final. What you want to do is that you want to lay all the doubters and put everything down and say, we're here and we mean business and this is what we want to do. But for Guinea-Bissau, on their own angle, they're a strong team at this point in terms of defensively, and they can hold their own, but they don't have the quality that Cote d'Ivoire has. That's just as simple as that.
Well, let's bring in the reigning Swag Sports Journalist of the Year, Gary Al Smith, who is having to clean some makeup off his face because he's, trying to be a little vain this afternoon, getting down to a photo shoot and all of that. Gary, good to have you. Congratulations one more time. Gary, can you hear me? All right, I'll need you to unmute so that we can hear you. Gary, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Very well. Very well. Congratulations once again, Gary. Coming on a
Thank
very
you so much.
on a very big weekend as well. It couldn't have come at a better time.
Well, it was a really pleasant surprise, and I'm really honored that the Sports Writers Association of Ghana thought my work deserved this honor. So thank you to everybody involved. And like I've previously said, I couldn't have done this without the Joy Sports team in particular and the multimedia group in general. And I'm really thankful to the entire team for all the support over the years.
Great stuff. Gary, we were talking about the opening game yesterday and its bearing on the rest of the competition. The quality of the football, the goals that will be possibly scored, and the eventual result and who that result goes to or who that result favors. The talk about how if Cote d'Ivoire are performing well, it will go a long way to have a positive ripple effect on the competition. How do you see today's game going with all the history we have at our fingertips?
Well, sometimes opening games can be very tepid affairs because the opposing team is very much aware that the host team wants to show something, and so they play some really negative football. They will not open up because they also want to keep a clean sheet as much as possible. And then the host team as well sometimes Nathaniel may tend to have a bit of jitters. You know, they would have some nerves because of the big crowd that they'll attend. You know, if this match heads into the halftime, 45, 50 minutes, there's no goal. You know, there might be some, depending on what kind of country it is. If you are playing in a location like Accra Sports Stadium, where, you know, the support is very, how do you say, Nathaniel? The support goes with the wind. It's not like, you know, places like Kumasi where you can be assured that the support will be there all the time. Sometimes the stadium can be a bit nervy. You know, the stadium can be a bit nervy and then things can be difficult. But apart from that, I think the Ivory Coast plan to play expansive football. You know, from everything that I've heard, they plan to play expansive football. Go for it and try and get the win today as well, Nathaniel.
Great stuff there. Let me bring John into the conversation now. I mean, we need to also explore all the possibilities. We've had scenarios where it probably has not gone exactly good for the host nation, or it hasn't gone very well in the opening game. Well, so in that unlikely instance, from an Ivorian perspective, in that unlikely instance that maybe there's a draw, or probably Guinea-Bissau give us a surprise, then how does it affect the rest of the competition in terms of its patronage, in terms of, you know, interest in the national team, the Elephants? All right, so let's bring in Stone here. Stone, you know, it could be anything. 3 possible results in the game. So we've talked about the win and what it's going to do, but then we have to look at the reality of the situation as well, because Guinea-Bissau do not have anything to lose, and they you know.
When you look at Guinea-Bissau, you look at their last match was a international friendly against Mali, where they were absolutely schooled and put in their place 6-2. And since then, they played Burkina Faso, where they drew. They lost to Guinea. They played Sierra Leone. They won. And then they lost to Nigeria 1-0. And then they defeated Nigeria. You look at the stat line. Cote d'Ivoire have not played a big team and gone there to struggle. They've had relatively wins. And I'm saying this, I'm going out on a limb. Cote d'Ivoire is going to win the match. It's as simple as that. I'm just saying it's as straightforward as that. From what I can see, there is no indication that this match doesn't get to a 2-3-0. I mean, no goal from Guinea-Bissau. Because you look at the matches that Cote d'Ivoire is coming from in terms of who they've played, and look at who Guinea-Bissau have played, and look at who they've look at Cote d'Ivoire, for example, beating Sierra Leone 5-1, going away against Gambia, defeating them, playing against South Africa, drawing against Morocco. One of their only defeats was against Zambia. Defeated Comoros twice. Lost against Algeria in 2023, and all this kind of stuff. But if I look critically at it, this match is a show of force. That is what it is. It is a show of power. This is what we can do. This is what we are coming to do. And in terms of who they've played and what they've done and how they've scored and how they've not scored and what has happened, I believe this match is going to be a 2-3-0 win for Cote d'Ivoire. It's going to be a statement. We came here for business. Guinea-Bissau, go back and regroup and complete the other matches, because this one is done. That's how it's going to be.
Well, Gary, Stone says that this one is done. Is a 2 or 3-0 thing for Cote d'Ivoire this afternoon from the way things are going. You agree?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll just jump in real quick.
Oh yeah, John, please go ahead, John.
Hi. So I was trying to say earlier that that the Ivorian crowd tends to always support the team regardless of the performance and regardless of also the outcome. I was recently in the friendly match that they played against South Africa in the same stadium that Ghana is going to play in, and South Africa scored quite early in the match, but the Ivorian crowd, the Ivorian fans continue to cheer, and they continue to dance and support the team until Sebastian Haller scored a goal to draw the match, and it ended up on 1-1 if my memory serves me well. So to answer your question, I don't think that even if we end up not winning tonight against Guinea-Bissau, that the fervor or the excitement around AFCON will die down. I think that until the end, they will continue to support Ivory Coast, and I also think that it'll probably be like a 2-0 or 3-0 affair tonight, hopefully.
2-0, 3-0 affair tonight. That's very interesting. So let's see how things go. John, we're grateful to you, and we'll be coming to you for more conversations during the week as we roll these games before the fans and do all the analysis and bring the backstories as well. John, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Well, so John Bafo is an analyst, and he is based in Côte d'Ivoire, bringing us up to speed on happenings on the ground in Abidjan as we get ready for the opening game. I'm looking forward to the opening ceremony and what will make up the art and the celebration of the culture of the Ivorian people and their history as well. And also, ultimately, the game itself and whether Octopus Stone can have his prediction right. I don't know about you out there watching us and listening to us. Remember 055-11-11997, 055-11-11997. Of course, coming up very shortly as well will be a conversation with African football legend Sami Osei Kuffour, who has won big accolades in the world of football, has played at the AFCON with Ghana. We'll relive the moments as well, and we'll look ahead to what will be hopefully a good game for Ghana on Sunday. And he tells us how he thinks the Black Stars can can rewrite the script at this AFCON. He is giving a condition. We'll be talking about all of that later on. Still here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM, switching the conversation towards the Black Stars in a little bit, but that will be after this message.
Be part of the moments to remember with AFCON 2023 on DSTV. Experience Africa's biggest football tournament with all 52 thrilling games live and in HD the way you like it. Enjoy expert commentary that will blow your mind.
It's a gorgeous finish. Super goal.
And the finest analysis to keep you in the game. Live your pride, passion and love for Africa's beautiful game from the 13th of Jan to the 11th of Feb on Supersport or anywhere on DSTV Stream.
Thank you very much for staying with us here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I'm ably backed by the rest of the Joy Sports team. So what if I told you that 10 Ghana cedis can get you free concert tickets, shopping vouchers up to 500 Ghana cedis to shop at Melcom, or get some tickets to buy some juicy chicken at KFC every week. Now, this is what to do. Just stake 10 Ghana cedis or more in the Game Park Game Pick 1 or Pick 4 lottery to be entered into a weekly Saturday raffle for a chance. Now, regardless of the outcome of your stake, you can still win a voucher for yourself. Now, vouchers are limited, so play more to increase your chances. And remember to watch the Saturday promo draw on Adom TV. It's at 6 p.m. So we're going to do all of that as we build up to the opening ceremony. And just make sure to dial star 946# or visit www.gameparkgames.com to play now. Terms and conditions apply. Game Park Games, more moolah, more power. Well, in the past week, we've been having conversations with some of the big names who have graced the stage of the Africa Cup of Nations. Now, I spoke to Lai Kingston, and that was on last week's edition of the show. And he's got thoughts on various things that the Black Stars need to do, some of the things that the Black Stars need to do to ensure victory. Now, he's been speaking about the subject of experience and, taking in experienced names and faces into a tournament like this, and how beneficial they can become to any team, and in specific focus, the Black Stars.
Yeah, for me, I think one thing they should know, that they're playing for Ghana. And Ghana, a lot of people have so much respect for them, and Ghanaians are also expecting a lot from them. You know, they know. They've come to Ghana, they've played, qualified in Ghana, so they know how Ghanaians love the game. You know, talking about experience, each and every player that is in the squad now have played a lot of games in Europe. They've played under a lot of pressure. So talking about pressure and all that, I don't think we will have the players will have that on their shoulders. One good thing that Chris did is him bringing Andre Ayew into this squad. You can tell from the players that they have, the inexperience are a lot in the group. So you need someone like Andre that have seen it all to at least be part of the team. At least, even if he's not going to be a starter, he should be around the team. He can sit with them, motivate them, share stories about the Nations Cup. All these can help the fresh ones that are in the squad to at least have a little fair idea about what they're going to meet out there. Looking at the tournament itself, I know Ivory Coast have improved their infrastructure in terms of hotels, in terms of the pitches. I've seen one or two pitches that is going to host the tournament, and the pitch is amazing. It's amazing. So looking at it, I don't think those things will affect them. But you cannot, experience is very important. I agree with you, but we have someone like Jordan who have seen it. You have Andre who have if he goes to this tournament, I think, if he feature in this tournament, I think he will be the highest appearance player,
with
player in Africa.
So, the likes of Rigobert Song,
so for me, I was so excited to see him being part of the team so that he can at least achieve something before he leaves the national team.
Well, Lai Kingston there. And now we'll bring into the conversation Kwadwo Jima. He is a coach and a football analyst based in the UK, and he has thoughts. He's been following the Black Stars, and he's got thoughts on how the Black Stars should exactly, attend to this game or approach this game to ensure a win. Now, in terms of the head-to-head, the Black Stars have recorded clean sheets against Cape Verde in the last 5 meetings, and that means it's something positive going into the game. But of course, Cape Verde will come in, the lesser entity, but with nothing to lose, and will come all guns blazing, and that is something we should surely expect. Kwadwo, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Look, everybody's been looking at the, this ideal situation where the Black Stars will overcome all the challenges and, all the difficulties from the last trial game against Namibia and put up a good game that will get a good result tomorrow evening. How do we approach this?
Yeah, I think that first of all, I'd like to thank all your listeners as well. But also, the most important thing is that the Black Stars, in the last few games, having kind of given a lot of Ghanaian fans confidence. And so it would be very important how we start our play in terms of, how we start attacking and creating chances. That would be very important in giving the ordinary Ghanaian that hope that we can actually do well and go far in this tournament. And so for me, I just think that from onset, whatever tactics the coach has, he has to unleash it so that it can get the whole nation buzzing again. Because, we will look back at the matches that we've watched in the last few months and a year or so, it hasn't been too much encouraging. And so if we want to get the nation buzzing, I just think that the coach would have to be a bit forward-thinking, at the same time as well, making sure he's staying compact with the defense. That would be very helpful for all of us so that we can, start cheering the team on more and more.
Now, Gary, you've also been monitoring a great deal. We're looking forward to hopefully having, a Kudus Mohammed in the fray, so that at least it brings a certain level of confidence. You're known as the man who will be a playmaker in the team. He's also going to strike some amount of fear and caution in the opposition as well. For you as well, what kind of game are you looking forward to seeing the Black Stars play against Cape Verde, who can become a very tough customer tomorrow evening? All right, we'll be bringing Gary in very shortly. Of course, Stone is here with me in the studio. Stone, a lot of talk about the Ghanaian team, and you've been monitoring for a while now. Now, Ghana is coming into this tournament with not so cool recent history, especially because of the result that was recorded in the last edition, which is termed the worst since Ghana started participating in the AFCON. What kind of responsibility then lies on the players as they go into this game against a Cape Verde who could be very, very troublesome if given the opportunity?
When you look at Ghana, when you look at Ghana, they are one of the top in Africa. That's the truth. They are one of the strongest teams in Africa in terms of the pedigree. You're mentioning Ghana in the same breath as Nigeria or Morocco, or Tunisia or Egypt or Cote d'Ivoire and all this kind of stuff. Ghana at this tournament have a responsibility to do what they normally do, and that is make it difficult for opponents to get through them. Ghana is a team that you don't have Ghana tomorrow and then you sleep well tonight. You do not have that. Even if it might not be the strongest team in terms of the names, but in terms of the quality that they can deliver, and in terms of the fact that Ghana just have that pedigree. There's something about pedigree when you come into a competition, that you have history as a nation, that you have done well consistently. It's like Real Madrid at the Champions League. Although it might look like they don't have the names, but they still turn up. And that is what Ghana, I believe that, all the trouble, this one is there, that one is there, the quality is this, Thomas Partey is out, all those kind of stuff might be, stressful at this point. But I think that if Ghana is serious, they can get out of that group very comfortably. They don't need to really stress themselves if they are serious. But if they go there and be like, this our Ghana, we don't need anything, they are going to be shocked. But if they can play compact like we know Ghana can, Jordan Ayew, if you put that brother has tank, like he's a tank, he's a guy that has lungs. He will run through the 90 minutes and doesn't get tired. He's one of the players I admire in Ghana. Jordan Ayew, very, very strong player and very, very good player. If you put him on the opponent's best player, you might not see that player in the match because he will mark him to the most and he will still deliver up front. So at the end of the day, when you look at Ghana, if they play as a unit, if they come together, if they are serious with it, if they put in the strength that I believe Ghana can do, and that is where you can bring in the hungry players that maybe might not have played at any AFCON or whatever, that are willing to prove themselves. And when they look at the bench, they see somebody that's playing in Europe on the bench, and then they see themselves and they want to prove themselves in that kind of situation. And then maybe as a coach, you want to play some 1 or 2 psychological games. You get what I'm saying, in terms of benching this player a little bit and seeing if he responds when he comes off the bench in the 60th minute, if he's too comfortable in the first match or in the second match, that kind of thing, so that you can get the right pick for the quarterfinals, which is where Ghana wants to go and get to the semis and get to the final and win it. Ghana have a team that if they come together, they can use that strength, that ability, that seriousness to get over the hump. But if they take it as a joke, it's going to be problems, because Cape Verde is not a team that you want just joke about. They're a team that are serious. They're a team that are coming to this competition with all seriousness. And if you watch their counter-attacks, watch the way they score, they're fast. You get what I'm saying? They're fast. So Ghana can just press them, stay on the halfway line and play them in that situation and make sure that they have their wing backs ready to run in case there's a counter-attack. Just pressure them. They will break. This is Ghana. They will break. Ghana will find opportunities. Come on now. I know we talk about the fact, I talk about Nigeria, we talk about Ghana and this kind of stuff. But come on now. This is Ghana. Come on.
This is Ghana, according to Stone. I don't know what you think as well. That's the reason why we'll be glad to have your messages at this time. 055-111-997. Let me come back to you, Kwejo. Kwejo, Stone has spoken about the admiration for Jordan Ayew and what he can do in terms of effect, especially on our forward lines if he's given the opportunity. So I don't know what you have put together in terms of who you'd want to see start this tournament for Ghana, because as the situation stands, we're not too sure about what a standard 11 will be for the Black Stars because of the transitional period that we're in as a national team. Who would you want to see start this game for the Black Stars from where you sit, Kwejo?
So I just think that, even from a striker's position, I just believe and think that Jordan should be playing more up front, in the box. Because I feel like he's been throughout a lot of tournaments, AFCON for a while now, and we haven't really seen him score a lot of goals. And so I just want to see him play more in the number 9 position and play Kudus behind him. Let's see what Jordan as a striker, as a number 9 can do, because we've always utilized Jordan as a wide player because he's got double feet and he's got quick feet and he can, dribble as well. And that for me is not helping, especially with this team when we don't actually have a striker. So I would like to see Jordan up front, and then I would want to see Kudus behind him, Atisiki in goal post, and then Gideon Mensah probably and the fullbacks as well. The defenders, I must say that I'm not too confident about our defense this time around. So wherever the coach pairs, there has to be a lot of understanding. There has to be a lot of compactness, closing all the gaps, making sure that we're able to put up a very strong wall against every opponent as well. I want to see Ashmiro start this game, our next game tomorrow, which is Sunday. I want to see him play in the middle, and then wherever pivot he goes with. But I want to see Ashmiro because he can pass the ball as well. And then obviously we can play Nyama on the side and we can play the other white man on the side. But most importantly, what I want to see Black Stars do should be able to defend well. Because naturally football is a natural course. If you defend well, you can easily break in transition. And so I want to see the team be able to defend well. And the mentality of the team as well. Should we go down? How do they comport themselves? How do they come out of a go down? And with that mental strength is what I want to see. And because most of these games that we see always is going to get to that point. You have a game strategy or tactics, and then you go into the game, and then obviously, you get shot by an early goal. How well the team will be able to pick themselves up will also be there for all to see. These are, keynotes that we have to look through the tournament and the first game especially. The coach would have to use his experience a lot in these type of games. And I want to see a Black Stars that will start very well, but also know how to defend very well in some portions of the game when the opposition teams also come at us.
Let's now try to get on the results card before focusing on some of the other big fixtures for the weekend. We're trying to get Gary's sound sorted out, but just in case you're joining us, this is the AFCON preview with special focus on the Black Stars of Ghana as they go up against Cape Verde. Good thing is that Ghana has recorded clean sheets against Cape Verde in the last 5 meetings, and that should be replicated hopefully from a Ghanaian perspective tomorrow evening when the two sides meet. But there's always the bits of caution as well, and that's the reason why I've got the technical people and the analysts to break things down for us. I don't know what your expectations are. You can send in the messages so that we can all do this together. Coming up very shortly as well is that conversation with Ghana legend Sami Osei-Kuffour, who's there. He's been there on this terrain and he's got thoughts as well. So the results card. You have projected a 2 or 3-0 win for Cote d'Ivoire in the opening game. What about the Black Stars against Cape Verde before we go on to the other games, Stone?
I think it's going to be 1-0 for Ghana because of the pressure that Ghana is going to put on them. But Cape Verde, they are not also scrubs. They are not people that you just put aside and say, okay, these guys will not do anything. So 1-0 for Ghana. But if Ghana is serious, it can't get messy for Cape Verde. It can't get to 4 if Ghana is serious.
Okay, so 1-0 on the regular because of the reality of the situation in terms of Ghana's form and all of that. But then we can go serious, up to 4 if we are serious.
Kudus can start this AFCON with a hat-trick if they are serious.
Okay.
Look at the form he's on. Come on now.
Yeah.
This is Cape Verde. He plays against people that that are much technical. So this should be a cakewalk for him in terms of getting a hat trick or getting an assist or pushing it to the next dimension. In terms of that. But by the end of the day, that's just what Ghana can do in terms of seriousness. That's just it.
I see. Let's come back to you, Kwejo. Kwejo, you tell me what you'd want to project on your results card for the game between Ghana and Cape Verde before we move away to other fixtures.
I think we can sneak in 2-0 in that game.
2-0.
Yes, I think 2 goes to the Black Stars. I think we can do that in the first game against Cape Verde.
Okay. All right, so let's now get into the the other games in terms of attraction. For the coming week. Of course, I know loads and loads of people are looking forward to that one between Ghana and Egypt on the 18th of this month. But Stone, I want you to give me what your picks are for the big ones or the ones you are focusing on for the first few days of the competition.
So in terms of the first few days of the competition, I've picked some games that I'm looking forward to. Now, they might not be necessarily the big names so much, but they are games I'm looking towards focusing on. Of course, I looked at Nigeria versus Equatorial Guinea, and as much as I've said a couple of things about Nigeria, I believe that game will be a 1-0 victory for Nigeria. Ghana, Cape Verde, I've already said.
And of course, considering that you've had like major issues major injury issues with most of the strikers.
Yes.
Victor Osimhen is still a big force to reckon with. There's no doubt about that.
When you look at Victor Osimhen, you're looking at one of the best strikers in the world. Because at the end of the day, even when Nigeria do not create chances for him, even when Napoli do not create chances for him, Osimhen is a chance creator by himself. You put him with 2 players, 3 players, he's going to turn, he's going to get the chance, and he's going to necessarily score because that's how great he is. He's auspicious, he's on that level, and he's a player that can express himself on his zenith of creativity that people have not seen. So that's just what I'm looking at in terms of Victor Osimhen. But at the end of the day, the next match I'm going to look at is Ghana, Cape Verde. And when I look at Ghana, Cape, I've already talked about that. I said it's going to be 1-0 looking at Ghana's form. But if Ghana is serious, we're looking at a mauling, we're looking at a destruction, we're looking at a humbling, we're looking at Cape Verde put in their place. That's what we're looking at. Then Senegal versus Gambia. That's a very interesting match.
This is what Azuma Nelson can refer to as father and son.
Yes, this at some point you would look at it and say, this is 5-0 at some point. But at this point, with the way the Gambia have grown, with the way they have Musa Barrow and all those guys that are coming up and everything, you look at the last 2 times they faced have been 0-0 and 1-1 draw. Both of them. Senegal has not defeated the Gambia in the past 2 meetings. And that was many years ago. Of course. But in terms of what Gambia played last AFCON and how they came out and how people did not give them a chance, Gambia, and how they came out and the strength are coming up and all this kind of stuff like that. We like to look at history and everything before we come back to this. The last 2 times they played, 2008 or whatever, they played draw twice. Now, coming back now, Senegal has a team. They have Sadio Mane, they have all these guys, but can they defeat the Gambia? I'm putting that match 2-0 to Senegal.
2-0 to Senegal. Okay.
Yeah.
Which other one is of interest to you?
So I look at these ones, and these are really interesting matches, but I'm going to skip a couple of them and I'm going to go straight to the match that I believe, because this is a team I've spoken about so much, and I think this match is very interesting to watch. Tunisia versus Namibia. That is going to be a match to watch. That's going to be a match that people, I'm telling you right now.
Namibia camped here in Ghana.
Namibia camped in Ghana, and not only that, I said something. I said Namibia has the best counter-attacking team at this AFCON.
Okay.
They have the best. And when Namibia is attacking you, the only reason why Namibia do not score more goals, and like I said many times, is because of their selfishness. And now you're playing against Tunisia, who likes to pack the box and then might play contain and counter. Tunisia doesn't like to be the one, they don't like to be the aggressor. And then Namibia might not necessarily be the team that will be the aggressor. So you have 2 people that play almost alike. You understand? Tunisia want to contain and counter. Namibia want to go back and pack the box and counter. So you have a situation whereby contain and counter versus pack the box and counter. So maybe someone like Atletico Madrid team coached by Diego Simeone of 2014 or so versus a Jose Mourinho team coached maybe like an Inter Milan coached by Jose Mourinho. So you're having that kind of scenario. This one is contain and counter. This one is pack the box and counter. So in terms of possession, who's going to hold the possession? And not only that, in terms of the chances created, there are going to be a lot of chances created in that match. So, but I believe that I am backing Namibia to draw Tunisia.
Okay.
I'm backing Namibia to draw
against Tunisia.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, of course, Mali, South Africa, where you have South Africa, excited. These are people that their women team is exciting, and their men team is picking up and everything like that. A wonderful team. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at this match that Mali is going to absolutely take South Africa to school. I'm looking at this match, and I'm looking at 2-0, 3-0. Mali is going to be a routing, because the Mali team, they have so much talent that they can do whatever they want to do on the football pitch.
Okay, so let's come to you, Kwejo, for like a general overview of the expectations. One of your key games you're looking forward to, and who you expect to excel. I mean, generally, Kwejo.
I think Tunisia, Namibia would be a very exciting game. Tunisia seems very hungry, and Namibia, they seem to be like a new, fresh face on the continent for this particular AFCON. So there's one team that I'm also looking forward to what they can do against Tunisia, and then that will set the ball rolling proper for everyone. I just want to see in the quarterfinals, and how Morocco, Egypt, Algeria, and Senegal will fare in the quarterfinals. I want to see how these teams will fare in the quarterfinals. So I'm looking at Morocco, Algeria, probably Tunisia, and maybe Senegal. I just want to see how they will fare in the quarterfinals. That's where my focus is on now at the moment. But we focus on the group stages, and then hopefully, I'm sure most of the African giants will get through the group stages. But after 1/16, that's where the games really come thick and fast. So that's where my focus is on now. I'm sure, for sure, and very much sure, these big boys will get through the group stages. Majority of them.
Well, great stuff there. And remember, I'm just asking you a simple question out there. What if I told you that 10 Ghana Cedis can get you free concert tickets and shopping vouchers, up to 500 Ghana Cedis to shop at Melcom or get some buckets of juicy chicken at KFC every week? Now, here's what to do. Just stake 10 Ghana Cedis or more in the Game Park game, pick 1 or pick 4 lottery to be entered in a weekly Saturday raffle for a chance to win. Now, regardless of the outcome of your stake, you can still win a voucher for yourself, and vouchers are limited. So just play more to increase your chances. And on Saturday, I'm talking about today, on Adom TV at 6 p.m., just before we start getting ourselves ready for the big game, just dial, star 946 hash and visit www.gameparkgames.com to play. But remember, there'll be the promo draw on Adom TV at 6 p.m. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Game Park Games, more moolah, more power. In Group A, so we're going to do this like a quiz, Stone, just before we get into the conversation with Samuel Sekufo. So in Group A, there's Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau, the top 2. We do know that the best 2 third-place teams will also go through because it's a 24-team tournament. Yes. So Group A.
Top 2, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria.
Thank you. Group B.
Group B, top 2, Egypt, Ghana.
Group C, Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, and the Gambia.
Group C, Senegal, Cameroon.
Group D is Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and Angola.
Group D is going to be Algeria and Burkina Faso.
Group E is Tunisia, Mali, South Africa, and Namibia.
Can I skip that?
I know why. Group F is Morocco, DR Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania.
I'm going to go Zambia and Morocco. I think Zambia is going to top. Morocco will be second.
Well, let's just see how all of that goes. This is the AFCON preview special here, and I would like to say a very big thank you to Stone. He is a football TikToker from Nigeria, and also to Kwejo Ejejima, also known as Passionate Man. He's a coach and a pundit based in the UK. And congratulations once again to the man, Gary Al Smith. It couldn't have happened on a better day. So this is it. The conversation I had earlier with Ghana and African legend Samuel Sekufo on football matters on the African continent as we build up to this very big one tomorrow. And of course, a good day because KOD, my good brother and friend, Kofi Ochredako, is celebrating his birthday today. Are we watching the game together on Sunday or what? Stone, when are you leaving Accra?
I'll be leaving Accra tomorrow.
Okay.
Painfully.
Don't worry, we'll welcome you back soon.
Please
yeah,
do. I'm going to be back. I'll come back from Cote d'Ivoire, then come back here.
Very well.
Good to see you, big bro.
Good to see you.
Yeah, and you look good. Wow. Wow, thank you.
Yeah, you look good. Yeah, it's been a while. We haven't had a conversation in a while.
Well, not, we are struggling. We try to put on food on the table for the family. So we need to work hard and just try to keep going.
Great stuff there. Now, this week, we've heard not so pleasant news on the fact that one of the greatest persons to have graced the game of football has passed on, and the fact that you played majority of your game in Germany, it comes and hits you at a different scale, or on a different scale. You also had personal contact with him along the course of your career as well. The Kaiser, Franz Beckenbauer, a man who won the FIFA World Cup as a player and as a coach as well. What were the thoughts that struck you when the news was broken to you?
Well, it was early in the morning when my mom, the German mother, called me, and then she said something bad has happened. And I thought that it was his brother, because his brother is not feeling well.
Joy 99.7
he said,
FM.
No, it's a Franz. Kaiser is dead. And I was really shocked. I saw him when we went to the Legends Night, and honestly speaking, he wasn't looking so well because he easily forgot exactly what we were discussing and so forth. So, and then for me, it's the way that almost everybody will go. And what he has done for me, I remember when I was signing my first contract with Bayern Munich, 1993, he was in the room and he grabbed my hand and he said, welcome to the family. And those are the words that such a personality talk to you about. I was very young, and it gives you courage, and he understands my culture, where I'm coming from, because I think he coached at Pele, 1991 Champions League final. So he understands the concept of the African boys. And if I'm doing something wrong, he will call me in and just try to direct me or correct me in so many ways. So, me personally, it hurt me a lot because he has done something great in my career.
May his soul rest in peace. Franz Beckenbauer, definitely a person who touched many lives around the world with what he contributed to the game of football, and his iconic figure and his persona and what he brought to the game sure are those that will be the sons of time. Now, we've been talking about the Africa Cup of Nations. We are in the Africa Cup of Nations season. You've had your experiences there. There are loads and loads of thoughts to share about our national team, our levels of progress, and how we're organizing ourselves generally. We'll start off with, camping in South Africa, camping in Ghana. There are those who are camping here, those who are camping in neighboring countries, those who have even arrived in Cote d'Ivoire already. The likes of Morocco are already there. What really is the deal if you have to do external camping away from your nation, if the Nations Cup is being played in a neighboring country? I mean, you've been through several of these camps.
You see, it's a very dicey question here. I quite remember 2008, the Black Star, we were hosting the tournament here in Ghana.
Yeah.
But they went to Dubai. And there was so many questions that people were asking. And apart from that, since 2008 that we hosted it here, we have been outside to camping. And then I think it wasn't, for me, personally, it wasn't the best idea. Why can't we do something here in our country in terms of infrastructure? That the Black Stars will have a training camp here in Ghana, instead of going to South Africa, instead of going to Dubai, instead of going to so many places that we thought that it could be the weather affection. But I still believe that when you look at the other hand as well, if we have a better facilities here, we will not even struggle for the Blaster to go to a hotel. We can camp here in our own soil. We are our own camping, whereby we have a better facilities for the boys. And we shouldn't forget that the boys, everybody is playing outside now. They have a better pitches on the training grounds. So when they go to Kumasi or whatever it is that the pitch is not all that good, it could be an injury for somebody that will end up his career. So I was just thinking, somebody called me, and I just said that this one, I will not blame anybody, I will blame the government. My reason is, if we have done something huge here, if Namibia comes here, they will pay. It goes into our economy, right? And if people who work under the Namibian team, cleaning, driving here and there, everybody will get money and it goes into our economy. So why do we have to go somewhere and train, and those people will get money and put it in?
So
the
then
economy?
it means that the eventual decision to train here was a good one. Only that you would have expected that we
Yes.
have a big facility which is purpose built.
Yeah, it's really planned. For this is the venue that for the Blasters or for most of the national teams, because Germany, we cannot compare ourselves to them, but they have built more than it's a city its own. But when you look at our country here, everything has to go outside. People are complaining.
The Ghanaman Soccer Center of Excellence, for instance, this is something that we were able to acquire, or we built through the FIFA Go project, which was introduced by then FIFA President Sepp Blatter. Now it has been rebranded to FIFA Forward program, and we saw various stages of the development. Now, there are those who have spoken about the FIFA Center of Excellence. I mean, we hold, it's supposed to be, that is our technical center now, the Ghana FA's technical center, but it's not able to host the national teams when we're camping.
The facilities are not the best. Let's be honest to ourselves, we cannot just deny it, because these boys that they are playing now, they are into a different level in terms of having their own money and living in their own house. You cannot put them in that place, pram, yeah? But for me, like I said, we have to do something that will be a longevity. It's not today. I'm not talking for today. I'm talking for maybe the next 50 years. So how long can we go somewhere and train and forget about our own, whereby we have the opportunity to put something huge? Most of the African countries who are going for, maybe this is a tournament in Nigeria. Do we want to go to Nigeria, or we want to stay here and train for our own? And if Blasters comes here, if the Blasters comes here and they know that we are going to play in Kumasi, we can be in the same venue and train and just make everything go down. Because if we don't do that, then we will still have a problem. We will still have a problem, because every day it will be a discussion, it will be a debate that did the Blaster deserve to go somewhere, did the Blaster deserve to stay here and then train here and have the country behind them before they travel to any tournament? Yes, because the country want to see our boys doing well. Like yesterday, almost Kumasi Sports Stadium was full because of our friendly game, because the people are so crazy about our game. The love is getting back because the people were going to the stadium to see our boys playing. Imagine if the Blaster goes to to Dubai and play friendly games against Namibia and nobody saw Blaster playing. People may have a doubt, but now people can just say, you know what, we saw them playing, so let's give them the hope and then go to the Côte d'Ivoire and do the best for the nation. But for me, I still believe the government should put a project here to sustain. Either we'll play here in Ghana as a host, or we go most of the Western African countries, we can stay here. And if you go to, for instance, Egypt, or you go to all the Northern African countries, then you have opportunity to go to Dubai, because it's still the same. But if we play here in Côte d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Cameroon, you don't need to go anywhere if you have a better facilities.
Interesting stuff there. Well, you talked about the numbers at the stadium to watch the friendly game against Namibia.
We've had all sorts of feedback since that game was played, considering the fact that it is also our final dress rehearsal sort of. The fans had the opportunity to complain about maybe the first half and our appearance in the first half and how no goals were scored and all of that, to the extent that some even booed some of the players. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I think it's not encouraging because these boys are going to fight for the nation. If we don't give them the self-confidence, if we don't support them, fine, you may have your fun. Probably I'm a fan of Nat. He's playing good. But don't take that advantage and destroy a young boy who doesn't know anything. Because not all of them had that courage. If you just try to boo them, you kill them, you destroy their mentality, the mindset. Even my country, people doesn't like me the way I'm playing. And if we know that this boy is not into that level, then please, let him stay. When he gets there, then we call him. But booing him, I don't think is the best. You kill them.
There's been a lot of talk about, the state of Ghana's national team. You saw yours and all of that. We'll be getting into the moments, your AFCON moments and your experiences with the national team at that level. But look at the team now and tell me what you also make of it in terms of where we are. There are those who say we're still in transition. There are those who say we just need a little extra time. And there are those who also say we just have a number of talents that we're not sure about, in terms of how to place them and how to use them. Where do you feel we are in terms of the growth of the national team currently?
I think we have a problem. The problem is we don't want to just go direct to where the problem is. Because everybody is talking on the favor of somebody, whereby it doesn't look good on our national team. 2022, I was with the team. We have players, 17 players under 25 years. It's a huge credit for us. If you build it from there, we shouldn't, I always say this, there's a difference between preparation and planning. We don't plan, we prepare. That is my major concern about this. Because if you have 17 players under 25, what do? You just finished the World Cup 2 years ago, and almost 1.5 years now. So what do? You plan towards maybe 2026, 2025, 2027, AFCON. One of them, I should plan myself to go and win the trophy. Because that time the players are more matured, they are more experienced, they go to their peak. Now, because we have Kudus, we have Dede, we have Iñaki, everybody say that we should go and win the trophy. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. We should have a proper planning. If we have plan, then we give ourselves this time around in Côte d'Ivoire, if we go to the quarterfinals, hallelujah. If we go to the semi-finals, praise the Lord. If we win the trophy, a gift from God. But we don't do that. Because we have certain players who are playing good in their various clubs, we thought that we should go and win the trophy. It doesn't work like that. It took Senegal how many years?
7.
It took Senegal how many years? We should forget about the previous 1982, since 82 we haven't won the cup. It doesn't make the difference. The difference is how we prepare ourselves towards the trophy. If we don't plan and prepare, we always go there and fall short. I'm telling you, because I don't see these players being bad players. I see them as a good talent, but we need to plan for them. Because if we don't plan for them, we thought that we have a good players or they are individual, they are very good. No. A national team should have identity. A national team should have a concept, should have a plan and strategy, but we don't have it. That's the fact, we don't have it. So I will still believe that there's still more room to improve. So if we have those players that we see that there's a plan for them, we shouldn't think about this African Cup of Nations. We think the next 2 editions, Either we go to the semi-finals or we win the trophy. That's my view.
If you just joined us, we're having this conversation with Ghana legend Sammy Osei Kufuor. Yes, he's won the accolades, he's won the silverware, and he sits at a place of experience and is sharing some of his experiences with us as we get ourselves into the Africa Cup of Nations groove. My name is Nathaniel Atto. I trust you're enjoying the conversation so far. We're going to be delving more into the current state of the national team. You talk about planning and how we're not planning. Is there any example we can pick from around the world? For instance, Germany, where you played. Germany won the World Cup in 2014, and there's an interesting story behind it, how they planned.
Well, I believe that, you see, 2004, they were out of the competition in the group stage. So they sit down and just say, the way we play, it doesn't suit us anymore. So we have to change the way we play. They were playing libero with 3 midfielders, 2 strikers. We have a wing back. They have been playing this for how long? They have been winning the trophies, World Cup in 1996, European Cup in England. So that thing was in their mind. Oh, we are strong, we have a good mentality, but the talent was just declining. Every day was going down. So what they did was they have 5 solid people. This is what we want to plan. Klinsmann, you have Jürgen Löw, you have Oliver Bierhoff, you have Matthias Sammer, and then you have Hermann Gerland. Those 5 people sitting down and just, you know what, let's plan. In the next 10 years, we have to win the World Cup. So look at the road to the success. 2006, they host the World Cup in Germany. They said to themselves, if we go to the semi-final, it's hallelujah for us. And they did go to the semi-final. They won the 3rd place. 2008, they go to Europe final against Spain. 2010, semi-finals against Spain. 2012, semi-finals against Italy. So you could see the progress. 2014, what happened? They won a World Cup. They even have their own village in Londrina, in Brazil. They didn't go to FIFA's camp because they have a plan. This is what we have been planning towards our 10-year journey. And it never failed. They went there with the young players that they were playing. Almost everyone was playing under 20. How many of them were in that team? You can Neuer, Ozil, Boateng, almost all of them were in the same team. Kagira, that they won the 2014. So you see, there's a planning. And if we don't plan, we say that this is how we want to do it, we can copy from somewhere. And if we copy from somewhere that will help us, we have to follow the procedure.
Now let's get into the AFCON. From your perspective, as a tournament, it's been growing. It is seeing its own levels of growth and all of that. As we speak, the winner will pick up to $7 million US. I mean, you look at what is happening in Europe, and it's way. I mean, multiples above what is happening in Africa. I mean, when you look at the reward system, how do you feel about the reward system for the biggest competition for CAF, which is the biggest? I mean, there are big conversations about the marketability of the AFCON and how physically fans don't even really travel around, and so how do you feel about the reward system generally, and
first,
how much value there is on the AFCON?
No, first, the traveling system in Africa is very poor. Europe is very close to each other. You can just pick a train from probably Germany to France. Within 2 hours you are there. But here, when you're traveling in Africa, it takes you 1 day. I can't remember, me and Steven, we were traveling to Tanzania.
Steven Apia?
Yeah.
Okay.
we were going to Congo. It took us almost 1 day. We have to go to Togo, come back to Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire. Then you'll be in transit for almost
a day.
So it doesn't help the people, and the people are also scared to go there. You don't know what is happening in the country, unless maybe the fan base that they have joined and they will support the national team to go wherever they want to go. As an individual, it becomes very difficult for people because the traveling system in Africa is not good.
Would you have wished that, the winner's prize, the winner probably got up to maybe like 10 million instead of 7?
You are just...
And this is even an improvement on the previous figure.
Yes, because most of the clubs or most of the countries will spend more money.
More than that, yeah.
Than that. So that tells you that it's everything about planning. Before it used to be $1 million, right?
Yeah.
It got to, I think the last edition was 3 million, 4 million.
Yes, yeah.
And now we got to 7 million. It's improving. But in my view, we can still do more because the TV rights alone brings a lot of money to CAF table, and a lot of things that goes on behind the scene that me and you, we may not know. So I still believe that the CAF can do more. But in terms of price, since it's from 4 million, 3 million to 7 million, we have to thank God for that.
You've had your own experiences at the Africa Cup of Nations. Well, there's the infamous one where you had to be expelled from camp for being vocal about the way things were being organized. You got close to winning the topmost individual prize, by CAF and all that. Have you moved on? Emotionally, have you moved on from all of these, scenarios?
I don't think about it. I don't, because people who were there knew exactly what happened. So for me, I think it was a huge experience for me going to Mali, and I would love some of the players who were there with me to also witness, to also come out and say whatever they witnessed there. It's horrible. As a country, for me, I think I give credit to Nantechi administration from that on to normalization, and then to get administration, because it was horrible. As a national team, we were eating on the roadside. It's like a chop bar. You go there, you eat. We don't have a T-shirt. And everybody, all the tournament that I played, at least I have a T-shirt, I have a jersey that I kept up to today. But I cannot say anything in terms of Mali preparation and just say to myself that I have this. No, because we didn't have a T-shirt, and everybody will witness that. We didn't. We were in the same group with Burkina, South Africa, and Morocco, but we didn't have the T-shirt. When we go to dining, everybody's wearing their own stuff. And that time, I was the peak of my life. So to see my country go into that direction, it was horrible for me. So I have friends in South Africa group. They always come and just give me some meat, food. Then I share with some of the boys, I'm telling you. Because what happened, the big men didn't even have self-confidence in the team. We go into a tournament without any T-shirt, without any jogging. Everybody's wearing their own stuff. And we have to go to the stadium and go and watch a game whereby I think it was South Africa against Burkina, their first game. And we played the next game. Then I said, I had an experience over this. We went to Mauritius under 20. Our first game against Mauritius, the opening game, and then Nigeria and Cameroon has to play, and it was fire. It was like they're killing each other. So that got us scared because we were watching the game live. The way they were kicking each other, it was better than we were watching on TV. So we don't see that intention. And then they said to us, and I just stood up, I said, boss, who was the minister? And then when I explain, the minister understands me. But some people may think that you're being too known, but it's a fact. So it wasn't the accusation that they were accusing me that I went to the nightclub. Oh my God. Where we staying, there's nothing. There's nothing. So I was so glad that Emmanuel Osekhufo came out and just explained to people. And for them to sack me from that point, I think it was a blessing for me. Serious. It was a blessing for me. The reason is, when I was coming, Bayern Munich said, "No, we don't want you to come because we have so many crucial games that you can play for us. So we will give you something." And I said, "No." The minister called me, spoke to my mother. My mother was very angry that I said I will come late. And that an old man was the president. So the call coming in, I have to come to Ghana. When I got to Ghana, I had a meeting with the old man. We were just cool, everything was cool. And then for people to say that I went to the nightclub, it kills me. It kills me.
So that was not true?
No, where we were. It was, that time I had a baby and I have to go and call that baby and call, sorry.
Your family?
Yes, to call my family to find out what is going on. And it was terrible. And I was so glad that I left. I have to be honest. Because we never asked a question. Why did the Mackenzian leave the camp? We never asked that question. Why did the Mackenzian leave the camp? We never asked the question. Why Derek Watson and the other people were cooking in their room. So if we have already planned and prepared ourselves for that tournament, do you think that these young boys will cook in their room? No. Because where we were the first team that reached into Mali. And from Bamako, we traveled almost 5 to 6 hours.
I see.
To where we camp. But I think we were the northern part of Mali. Terrible. But we sacrificed all those things because of we want to play football, because our loving country, people, we sacrificed. And then somebody just come in and lie. I was very disappointed when I was listening to Coach Malik Jabel. I respect him a lot. I respect him because they were the people that paved the way for almost all of us to be where we are today.
Yeah.
But you cannot go on the radio or national TV and lie about it that you were the one who sacked me from the camp. I'm sorry, Coach Malik. Please, I know that he may listen one day. No, he didn't do well. Thing that happened almost 18, 20 years ago. And you are bringing it back and tell people that you sacked me. What will you get if you sack me? And you didn't even sack me. He didn't even know how he got to Mali. He didn't even know how he got to Mali. Did he know? He doesn't. But coach, you cannot stand on the TV and say that you sacked me. No. That wasn't cool at all.
You've asked us not to cry about 40 years and, you know, the fact that we haven't won for 40 years because we have not really planned to win after 40 years. Now, you look at all of the teams and by your technical analysis and what you see in terms of form, who are those who you feel are very prepared for this tournament?
Most of the time, it depends on the Northern African countries because they're taking it very serious. When you look at the record of most of the people who won it, they are very less, but they are there. Egypt has won it 7 times, right? And Nigeria, I think 3, 4, yeah. And Cameroon also is there. But at the moment, I still believe that Cote d'Ivoire has a huge chance, not because of they are the host nation, because the way their players are playing at the moment in Europe. There's no doubt that you can take Nigeria out because they have a very, very good individual players. Like I'm always saying, this tournament, sometimes individual can make the difference, but you also need a collective to jam together as a team to do something extraordinary, because you cannot just do it unity. The Nigerians, we all know the egos are huge in their teams. Everybody think that he's playing the best club. So for us, as a Ghanaians, we know our level. So now we are not counting ourselves one of the favorites. But this is where Ghana becomes dangerous all the time. When we go into the last time that we have the trophy in our hands, we nearly stop going. But it ends up that we have so much talent that when you even mention some of the players' names, people go, wow. Sometimes when I meet some of the African legends that we are talking about it, all those kind of things, you mention George Alasa, Opoku Afri, Razak Polo, and then people go, wow. So those people, they still exist, you understand? But at the moment, we cannot count ourselves one of the winners or one of the favorites in the tournament. But Ghana can cause upset to any club, any country that we face.
Talk about the upsets. Now, these other teams are all backing up. They're all learning from what they see us do, and they are becoming more dangerous and more troublesome. I mean, I was having a conversation earlier today. One of my colleagues, from the African continent was telling me that one of the teams he believes will create massive trouble will be a Cape Verde, for instance.
Well, you see, they got nothing to lose. They are playing Ghana. And for them, their dream, one day to beat Ghana. And when we met 2013, right? The last time we played against them was 2013. It was a very close game. Very close game. So now they are coming in with a lot of players that they gather from Portugal, from here, because you see their colonial masters is Portugal. So they have a lot of players from Portugal playing for them at the moment. But we shouldn't be just sit down and just say that they have given us a hard time before, so we won't go in and win the game for ourselves. But my problem is we are so slow starters, very slow. Every first game becomes very difficult for us, even though those days when you used to have polo and dance, it's always the same. But as some tournament grows up, Ghana develop and Ghana become better and better and better. But for the last two editions, it hasn't been like that. Since 2019 and 2022 in Cameroon, wasn't like that. But I still believe that this time around, Chris and his team and the players, they will also change their mentality to get to know that there's a lot of people behind them at home. So they will go in, do something for themselves, their family, and for the nation.
Let's delve into your moments in the AFCON and which of the moments come back to you so strongly. I mean, you've spoken about the not so fun part. Let's now speak about the big moments for you in the AFCON personally.
Well, I think it was CAN 2000. Our first game against Cameroon was hot. And when I look at the team that we have that time, especially, let me go back to 96. I was young. In South
Africa.
Yes. When I look at it, when we sit in the bus or when we when you go to dining, I see myself sitting down with so many great ones. Then I ask myself, what am I doing here? In my mind. Myself a question again. You are good enough, that's why you were selected to be in this position. You are there not by accident. It should be a reason and purpose, that's why you are here. So for me, CAN 2000 was the best for me. That time, range, and everybody just thinking that you are the best, and the whole country was solid behind me. I remember the game against South Africa in Kumasi. Oh my goodness. The game that I don't want to talk about it. Serious. We lost close range. And both of my mother and my father was in the stadium.
Wow.
And I could see when I was sitting in the, when I was standing in the pitch, I could see my dad. So I need to give everything that is in me that day. And that day, I think I did the best for myself, for the country. but our best wasn't enough. So Can 2000 stands out for me very well.
Now, there's always talk about how there are surprise elements sometimes that the lesser rated teams. I mean, you've spoken about it already. The FA president in a recent news conference spoke about that, you know, there's a possibility that, you know, away from all our troubles and all our, you know, I mean, the low ratings that we have because of things, something can just happen. How much of it comes into this kind of conversation?
Well, I think in some point he's right, because when you look at the situation that we are in at the moment, you just go to the market and ask even the women in the market. They will tell you that Ghana is not going to do well because people are tired with the disappointment. People are tired with all this frustration. People are tired with how things are running and things are going in our country in terms of football. So nobody will just give you a benefit of the doubt that the Ghana is going to win this tournament. Like I said, it's always a surprise. And this is the time that I think the players, they will show their true colors. They have to show it. They got nothing to lose. They have to go in there with a free-minded. Go and perform. It's a football. It's a thing that you love to do it, and we are paying you. So you have to go there. And I think this time around, personally, if we go to quarterfinals, I'll be more than glad. I have to be honest. Because like I said it earlier on, the planning and preparation differences are the factors. That's why I use the word, if we go to quarterfinal, I'll be more than glad.
So with this kind of, with this kind of background and what you know regarding getting national teams together, I mean, you've been in the thick of administration because of the normalization committee. How much time, I mean, with the crop of players that we have who are very, very youthful by the demographics, how much time can we project if we want to realistically stake a claim for the Nations Cup?
I think we need to bring them together. Regardless, how old is Dede, how old is Amate, Jordan. So if those players are maybe...
And maybe a Richard Ofori,
yes,
he's also experienced in that.
Yes, so if we just say that they are over 30. How old is Salisu? He's 24, 25. Great talent. Fatau, I don't know how he got out, but so many Nyama, Kudus, so many players that we can gel with this team. Like I said, we have 17 of them 2022 World Cup under 25. So if we make our mind and just say we don't care about this African Cup of Nations, like I said, if we go to Qatar, so we are thinking of the next two editions. If we go to the final, if we win it, amazing. But if we don't put that thing here, and we always say that, we have this, Kudus is playing well with West Ham, we have Dede Ayew having a team, we have Jordan playing every week. Then in our mind, go to Cote d'Ivoire, and that's where the disappointment comes in. We need to plan. I will still stay on my West. We need to plan. We can prepare, but the planning have to be.
Interesting stuff there. Now, you've had the chance to play, be around the team by virtue of what you do. Let's talk about organization of the structure of the team. You spoke about the German national team, who obviously are a good template, especially if we're looking at the year 2014 and the years preceding that, because of the kind of success story they recorded. Now, this thing about legends being a part of the technical setup, what's your take on it as well?
I think it's brilliant. It's brilliant. You need somebody who understands the game. When Otto was there, sometimes we can stay in a room and discuss a lot of things. And he understands my language, where I'm coming from. Because if they go to training and I see something wrong, I don't hesitate. I speak to him. I won't speak in the public, but I will go straight to him and we discuss. Some of the players also, if they're training, I see you that maybe certain things that you are doing wrong, I come to you, we talk about it. Because I am here to help. And I'm not here to criticize the player. I'm not here to kill the player. I am here to just to motivate you, for you to do well. I mean, if you do well, you do for the country and you help the team. So if I am there just to kill you or to criticize you, you are not the best, you are not good, it doesn't bring anything. Since they are all young, since I have been in that position before, and somebody also encouraged me for me to be where I am today, I think it's the best thing that you need some of the legends to be there. And I think Stephen is going with the team, right?
Maybe. I mean, we've had a chat about it, and there's a likelihood that he may be in there, you know, with the team.
That's a good opportunity. That's a good thing. Because, I mean, you have somebody who has captained the nation for almost a decade. If he's there with the team, is a good thing for the players. Somebody may see you. And if you see what, you are going there not because of football alone. You are going there, somebody may talk to you about his business. Since you have the business IQ, you can also direct the person. It's also part of the game. It's not everything that has to be football. We talk about business as well. What are you doing with your money? How are you investing? You ask those questions. And you see they will come and talk to you. Oh, maybe they don't have a people that they rely on and just put their money into the house, do this for me, do this for me, because we've seen so many disappointments. But I will tell you, if you are not sure, why don't you put your money in a trust fund? The money will generate. By the time you finish your career, you have a lot of money. Or if you want to buy something, trust me, I don't need your money. I have enough. I will just be there for you to see that your business or whatever you are doing is going well. It's also part of the being there as well.
Talk about money. The European clubs especially feel that they invest a lot, you know, in our players. And because of that, when this time approaches, they get very uncomfortable to the extent that it's difficult for them to release, you know, players. I mean, I remember back in the early 90s where Tony Yeboah, you know, would have to fly private jet, his club Frankfurt to fly in via private jet to come and play a game and come back to the Bundesliga and play and all of that. We had the SCN episodes. We've had in recent days the Kudus episode. I mean, in recent days you've heard about the bargain that Cameroon have with Onana and Manchester United. How's the best possible way to go around this very, very tough subject of teams, big teams, or big clubs in the big leagues, and this period when the big players have to serve your nation?
We have to serve our nation, either we like it or we don't like it. I personally, through Ghana, that got me where I got from under 17. Nobody knew me. Through under 17, I got a contract today. So certain things you need to sacrifice. But how many people think like the way I'm thinking? And some of the club also cause problems for the player. And I think it's all about when we were playing the tournament in summer, nobody was complaining. But I don't know why it turned back into January again. Because then some of the European big clubs thinking, oh, I'm paying this player almost £300,000 a week. If he left to the Cup of Nations, I'm still going to pay him because he's not injured. You cannot just deny that you are not paying the player because it's in his contract that you have to pay him. So the clubs are just thinking that, oh no, if he goes, we have maybe, for instance, Liverpool at the moment, they are losing Salah, right? And he is the talisman in the team. So imagine he's gone and then they lose the league. They will still put the blame on Salah. So if there's a possibility, for the sake of some of the African players, I'll still believe, because of the FIFA calendar that goes with the Nations Cups, it doesn't suit the African football. When you compare with the South American, also, it's in the same summertime. It doesn't suit the world football. So for us, they will try and push us into the limit that will also give some of the players disadvantage, and in some of the countries. And I don't think that CAF, if they really want to also do something for the players to also have a opportunity to play with their clubs, I think they're supposed to do that.
Sami,
yeah,
it's been wonderful sharing your company. Just before we wrap it up, let's just say, you know, these boys were all sitting in front of you and you had to say something to them around this time when the nation's attention is on them and they have to serve. You've been there before. You've felt the heat before. You've broken your back for the nation before in the national colors. What would you say to them?
It's just the three things. You have to be you, because you got a talent that the Father upstairs give it to you. You have executed the talent. You have to play for yourself. When you play for yourself, very good, you play for the team. When you think about your family back home, you play for the team. When you think about the people of Ghana, you also play for the team. And also concentration, determination, and dedication. I think that's the key. The players, they know themselves. They know exactly what they're supposed to do. So for me, sitting down and saying all those kind of things, they understand the language. We call something like football language. They understand. Nobody wants to be insulted. Everybody want to play good and play for his family. Especially when you play good, your family back home feel more comfortable. Your friends around you, they're going around and just say, hey, he's my friend. You understand? So I think they know it. And this time around, I think I have a slightly strong feeling that the team will do well. Like I said, if we go to this quarterfinal, I'll be the most happiest person. And if we go to the quarterfinal, there's a possibility for us to go to the semi-final. So my stage is quarterfinal. If we go there, I'll be more than happy.
Sami Tuga, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure speaking to you. Well, so that's the legend there, and he has done his calculations. He says that in the thick of all of this and with all the dynamics around the national team, he believes that a quarterfinal berth just could be a mark to spell something amazing for Ghana. Well, we'd have to cross our fingers, put our hands together, look to the skies, and just hope that things go the way we want them to go at the Africa Cup of Nations. These big conversations will continue, but I would like to once again say a very big thank you to the legend Sammy Osei Kuffour, who sure has also paid his dues in a very big way and has earned very big silverware and plaudits for it, making him a big name here on the African continent and internationally. You always keep it here on Joy Prime, Joy News, and Joy 99.7 FM. And another big conversation will be coming your way. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I have love for sport.